This tree is massive. Look what we have here. Got a little bit of a clog here. It's nothing a big storm can't break out of the way, but I'll try to move some of it. Wow, this is interesting. This culvert goes around a corner. I see a wall right there. It turns a few times. Let's go check this out. I take back what I just said a minute ago. I can't move that out of the way. Look what's stopping it. A tree got stuck here. Let's see what we got. This is gonna be fun, this one. It's 6 feet tall. I can stand up in here. This isn't that bad. I thought it was gonna be another couple creepy corners. Look at that. That's from a, what do you call it? A storm drain. It must be a corrugated metal one to create that kind of sludge. And can't tell if that spider's alive or not. Look at all the water leaking out of the joint. Let's start moving. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The floor in here is really slippery. It's not a culvert adventure if you don't have spiders. Take a look at the floor. It's like this. Slime. It reminds me of the slime that builds up inside of a aquarium filter. Oh wow, there are so many black widows in here. Take a look at them all. This is the biggest concentration of black widows I've ever seen in one pipe. So many of them. I think it's cool how their eyes actually light up on the camera. They're tiny little eyes. There must be thousands of them. Look at this. Look at all that nasty sludge. Bright orange. Oh, we got more spiders. Oh, I scared that one. Look at that one there. The reason they don't build webs going across the tunnel is because a big animal like me would just rip them down. Because you know things like coyotes and stuff use this so they don't have to cross the road or walk up that hill. And probably even deer. Look at a crack on the ceiling. That'll lead to failure in another decade. Looks like on the other side we have a pool. So occasionally when we get heavy rain, it must blast out at the end of this. Look at this. Get a better angle. That goes up to a storm drain. And the storm drain collapsed. You see the dirt? Dirt's getting washed in through that pipe. That goes up to a storm drain. So this was brought here. This is precast. And this looks like it was molded. Going down a step. Down another step here. Very interesting. Right now it's the end of January. Today's a pretty warm day, but because we're in the middle of winter, all the black widows from the forest all take shelter inside of culvert pipes because it's deep beneath the frost line. So even on the coldest day, you're gonna have warmth in here. It probably stays 40 or 50 degrees constantly inside of here. So I'm gonna go show you all the black widows inside this tunnel. Well, I can't show you them all. There's too many of them. It's a very slippery floor in here. It's a kind of slime that likes to grow in the dark. It's 6 feet tall. I'm exactly 6 feet, so I just gotta duck my head a little bit so I don't rub up against the spiders. These are northern black widows, or North American black widows. They are not as poisonous as the regular ones, although they will leave a pretty big itchy bump. I've got them on me before. I've been bit by them. It doesn't hurt, it really just itches, like a bee sting. This here is going up to the street, to a storm drain, and as you can see, it's collapsed. Every time this thing runs, if it even runs, it's damaging inside the hill. We're not deep enough yet for spiders, but we're getting there. Those things hanging are eggs for the next generation of spiders. Oh, there we got our first one in the center of the screen. Let's move along. Once we get to the middle of this pipe, there's a big constant, whoa. That just scared me. I thought one of them jumped down, but it was just a drop of water. There we have a moth, really colorful. You see how they're all like in the corner? They're doing that to try to keep warm. Most of them are taking shelter in the cracks, like these guys here. There are some pretty big ones in here. We're starting to get into the deep concentration area where we're going to start seeing a whole bunch of these things. That one right there is gigantic. Spread out, it's like 2 inches. That's big for that kind of spider. It's winter time, so we will not be seeing any of the gigantic fishing spiders like I showed in the summer videos. Fishing spiders eat small aquatic animals and other bugs. Those, the females, go into hibernation and they can live up to 3 years. Those spiders can get up to 5 inches at full size. They're pretty big. A lot of people mistake them for a wolf spider when they're small, but they get huge. Right here you can start to see some pipe failure. There's another one on the ceiling. So look at this nasty sludge leaking from the crack. It's nasty. That's bright orange. Bright orange, nasty sludge building up. Oh, there we have another giant. They're not moving fast because it's winter, you know? When it's winter, they're gonna move kind of slow because their metabolism slows down. We have a bunch of them because we're still in the center of the pipe. If I was to focus in right now just on the edges, that's where you find most of them. You got a few of them hanging in their webs. The reason they don't build big webs, if you find one of these in your yard, especially over a security light, they're gonna build a really big web to try to catch their insects being attracted by your light. The reason they don't build those massive webs inside of a tunnel like this is because big animals like me would rip them down. Think about it. This is really deep in the hill. Animals like raccoons, foxes, coyotes, maybe even deer might use this as a shortcut to get through the hill. We're starting to get towards the end of the pipe where the cold weather can get to. So after this deep concentration of them, we'll start to run out again. And these spiders, it's not like you're going to see them all cuddled up together. Spiders are territorial animals. You're not going to see them just all in a big pile. As soon as I go around this corner, the spiders are going to end. Here we have a leaking joint. As you can see, this here is, they actually molded this and poured concrete in this section of the pipe. But now we get into this section, they actually brought this here with trucks. This is precast, reinforced concrete. This here is a storm drain going up to the street. As soon as I get through the dripping water, I had a loose knob there. Oh, look at that. You see, cities don't do their maintenance. Look at that thing. On my way in here, I didn't look in there. You can see the ground completely smushed that corrugated metal pipe. It's not even working anymore. You just got that small trickle coming from the ground. So whatever storm drain that's going to is not even working. And because of this, there's probably a small sinkhole inside of this wall somewhere. It's hard to be sure. But here we come out the other end. This right here must have been a massive storm to be able to put this that high. The water must have been so high going through this thing. Looks like that was a landslide at one point. Got all this debris here. That tree there is just huge, like this one. The diameter of that thing must be 2 or 3 feet. I was just saying in the pipe that animals probably use it all the time. Take a look at the sand here. It's full of raccoon tracks. Now this is interesting. When this tree fell over, it uprooted a whole bunch of stuff. Back in the day, before a lot of neighborhoods had trash pickup, you would just dump the stuff in your yard somewhere. So this here was somebody's dump at one point. And when this uprooted, you can see all kinds of bottles and other trash. There's some pretty old bottles in there that the tree ripped up. I could see a glass bottle there. But take a look at what's on the other side of it. Some of the stuff I wouldn't say is too terribly old. It's old enough. Got a little clay flower pot. But take a look at this stuff. These are like old soda or beer cans, and they're so old. Look at that. The earth just took them back. They're just crumbling into nothing. They're like fossilized, these old cans, bottles. The cracking on that culvert ceiling, I think, is unacceptable because that was just replaced less than 10 years ago. I remember when they shut down this road, to replace this and another one. They had to rip the whole hill down to be able to replace that. And within 10 years, it shouldn't be falling apart. We have concrete culverts that were built in the 40s and 50s that are in absolutely perfect condition. It's because of the quality of concrete they use. If you use garbage concrete, it's not going to last long. The kind of concrete that lasts the longest is when they mix tons of rock and gravel in with it. It's more difficult for water to erode through those rocks.